YouTube. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for joining me on Monday's show. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa. Today is Monday. It is February 9th. I hope that you all had an amazing weekend. We got a lot to discuss today on the program, and of course, news as it happens. I appreciate you guys getting active inside the comment box. Thank you very much for joining me on Wake Up Bama this morning. If you caught that, you're able to see, and maybe you saw it live last night as I cut it last night, as we did it during the halftime show. So always trying to work a little bit smarter, and I appreciate you guys rolling up this morning and supporting the program. Last night, the biggest game, right? The last game of the season is always the Super Bowl. And we watched the Super Bowl. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you have a good time? Did you like commercials? We're going to talk about some commercials here in a second. And honestly, I kind of, one of the main themes and the title of the show was, did Ryan, I'm going to put this as a poll right now, did Seattle win a Super Bowl because they fired Ryan Grubb? Is it harsh? I don't know. I mean, is it a question that people might be asking kind of in our space? Yeah, we'll kind of dive into that, and we'll talk about more today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And if you caught Wake Up Bama, I started thinking as I was watching the Super Bowl about some outcomes of how to win. Like, what is the right formula? It's clear as day to me as I wake up on this beautiful Monday. So thank you for rolling up, and I appreciate you guys getting inside the comment box. I think when you look to this particular game and you see that the Seahawks, I just saw it, Ryan Williams, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Ryan Williams, all right? When you look at this game, you break it down very easily into what did Seattle do against the Patriots? And if you're like, I don't really watch the Super Bowl. Well, you didn't have to watch the Super Bowl. You just have to know football. You just have to watch football. It was easy to see that the key ingredient, there was two key ingredients, okay? It was clear as day. Really, there was three, okay? And then we kind of added some four, like the fourth one together. But it was that they ran the ball, okay? It's crazy. The running back was the MVP of the game, right? Now, the other part was Seattle, and we can't overlook this. Seattle's defense was ferocious. And you know what? New England played good defense too. They really did. They made some incredible plays, right? But I think the defense was probably the main reason that Seattle was able to win the Super Bowl. I think that was reason number one. I really do. I don't think Seattle's offense dominated and was just, the main reason. It was the defense, and I'll be 100% honest. I think the second reason, this is going to sound crazy. Number one was the Seahawks elite defense. Number two was actually the elite special teams play. I'm serious, okay? And then the third reason was because they were effectively able to run the ball. Those were the main reasons. And then probably, somewhere in there was also the turnover differential. So those were the main four things how Seattle was to win. So you how does that translate to what we got going, right? And it stems with defense. And if you look at our team, what do we have? Defense. We got the guys that we need from the defensive perspective. Now, can we play elite level defense? I mean, we played pretty good last year. And I think defense kind of sets the tone. And when you look to Alabama's secondary, when you look to Seattle's secondary, they were great. Alabama's secondary was great last year. Can they be great again? Probably. They got all those guys back, right? So that kind of tells me we got the first checkpoint. We got defense, right? We got defense. We got a defensive coordinator coming back. Got to figure out kind of the inside linebacker, but everything else, I mean, if you don't like Alabama's defense, you don't like a lot of stuff, okay? So you start there by the defense. The second reason is the special teams. And I think when you look to the special teams, right, I think I have a graphic that I kind of illustrates some of this. Let me see. Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah. Wow, I even have it here. I didn't even know I was going to go like this, but it made so much sense to me. All right. So right here, special teams. The special teams play was fantastic by Seattle. What the field goal kicker? What do you have? 5 field goals, right? Which I think was the most in the Super Bowl. So not only did he show up, right? He was accurate, but Seattle's special teams in general, in terms of their punter, man, he pinned what, New England? Like within the 10, 2 different times. So their special teams was outstanding. And that made it really difficult for New England to move the football because Seattle's defense was so good, and plus they had the whole field behind them, right? On top of that, you go up to the top point, a commitment to running the ball. Last night, we saw Kenneth Walker get carries. And the thing about Kenneth Walker, and some of the things that I loved about him, is he had explosive plays. They kept going to him. He had 100 yards by the halftime break. And he's not the biggest running back. I think he is imposing in that sense, like he's a strong running back. But the great thing about him is Seattle's offensive line was good, but he was also patient, right? How many times would he just kind of sit back there, wait for like a hole to open, and bam, he hit it. He did that many different times. He was patient. The offensive line set things up, and he was able to take advantage of it. But they kept feeding him. And despite not scoring a touchdown, he was still the NFL MVP. I mean, it was the right thing to do. He was the main guy. He also had, nearly 30 yards catching the ball. So in total, what do you have? Like 150 yards in the Super Bowl? Seattle won the turnover game, right? 1 time of possession, and of course, coaching. So the first thing is, do we have defense? Yes. Do we have an elite special teams? I think we feel that we upgraded in special teams. Bringing in Lorcan Quinn feels really great. Bringing in a new punter feels great, right? Do we have a kick returner? Do we have a punt returner that can make you miss? We got to have a guy back there. I mean, it's Alabama. There's plenty of guys. We'll find one of them. If it's not one of these wide receivers that, just came in, maybe it can be a Lottie Brooks, or I don't know, maybe Ryan Williams. Who knows? The commitment to the run is the biggest thing right here. And I think we all look to this game. We're like, okay. And we all look to the season. We all look to the fact that we have a new offensive line. We look to the fact that, we all know it, but are they going to do it? And what does that look like? I mean, Seattle did it last night with a running back that was more their featured running back. And, of course, they have Chabaret, who they also use, this season. But is Alabama, how is that running game going to work? And are they going to commit, most importantly, to running the ball? And I think sometimes the knock on Grubb was the fact that if it wasn't working immediately, he just abandoned it. And you can't do that. Turnovers, how is Alabama in that area? Well, we'll find out. That's always kind of something that you find out. But I don't think in the past Alabama's really been conducive to really turning the football over. Every team's going to have turnovers, right? I mean, Seattle did it in the playoffs, which is absolutely crazy. And then it all comes down to, on the bottom, coaching, right? And I'm talking like the head coach, the OC, and the DC, and then kind of everything else that falls underneath. And Mike McDonald, right? He had a vision. He knew, and he understands the identity of the Seahawks. And I think now, under DeBoer, we're starting to understand, more about the identity of Alabama football. I don't think we've really tied it together yet. If I was to ask you, I would be like, yo, what is the identity of Alabama's offense? What is the identity of Alabama football right now? What was the identity under Coach Saban? Not comparing the two. It's just what's the identity? Is it still the same? What's the identity about Alabama? Right? So, look, and you got to look at Ryan Grubb coming back. And you got to look to Kane Womack coming back. And I don't think, if I was to, I think 71% I thought it'd be a little bit closer, but out of the 55 votes that we have, 71% feel that Ryan Grubb was the main reason that Seattle, they fired him and then they're able to take advancements. man, as harsh as I've been on Ryan Grubb, I do feel that the main reason that Seattle was able to win a Super Bowl is because of the defense, and I do feel kind of commitment to the run. So is it strictly because Grubb, they fired him? No, I think it's just because Seattle did what they needed to do for their own identity, and they felt that kind of the ground and pound was that, along with a new quarterback, right, along with having their offensive line healthy, and, come up with a Super Bowl title. So, obviously, there was tons of commercials. Last night, you know what? I haven't enjoyed the commercials over the last couple years. But I had to tell you, I liked the commercials last night. This is my favorite. What was your favorite commercials? All right. This one was one of my favorite ones. You had Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston, Jason Alexander, right? Ted Danson, right? Tom Brady made a camo, right? They appeared in the Super Bowl ad for Dunkin' Donuts, which was titled Goodwill Dunkin', right? And I didn't know this, and I guess maybe I'm not like a Super Bowl versed in commercials, but this is like a yearly thing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that like every year they did like some sort of like a Dunkin' something. But this is my favorite one by far. I mean, these are all the people that we grew up watching, right? Come on, Friends, right? We did watch Good Will Hunting. I mean, who didn't watch that movie, right? You got Urkel, right? You got Fresh Prince, right? Carlton. Man, I love the Fresh Prince. That was one of my shows. Uncle Phil, Will Smith. I loved it. I grew up watching that. And it's Seinfeld, look, if you ever wonder like what I'm doing, I'm probably like eating. Look, this might sound sad. I don't know. Take it how you want it. But if you ever wonder what I'm doing like on my downtime, I'm probably like eating food with my phone posted up, watching Seinfeld, getting ready to come back for the next show. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I just watch Seinfeld like continuously. I don't even care what the episode is. That's just like where I'm at. All right, so that was my favorite. I also thought this commercial was hilarious. The Liquid IV commercial, right? Where you had Phil Collins, take a look at me now. And it was all the toilets were like singing together. Number one, I love Phil Collins. I've been playing him a lot recently. And Liquid IV, who hasn't needed a Liquid IV? But this was a funny commercial. It stood out to me. A lot of people mentioning the Jurassic Park commercial. Yeah, so basically, I like that one. I don't have it on here, but Jurassic Park, basically, life at Jurassic Park would have went smoother if they would have had better internet, right? It was Xfinity, right? Yeah, I get that. So that was another one. But then you had this commercial came to me, and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, so this is a Budweiser commercial, right? And for whatever reason, like, man, I see, because I've spoke to you a million different times about how I feel about the country, and like I love living here, and I fly a flag outside of my house every single day. Not as like some sort of like political statement or whatever. It's just because like this is like what is so beautiful, right? Like, man, the outdoors, like the opportunities that we get to have here. And whatever your like affiliation is, I think we can all like agree on that. And I don't know why this always hits home with me. It's like that. This is like America. So this is like a commercial that like I found special. I love the Clydesdale, right? The bald eagles. I don't know. Maybe I just need to get it outside more. But I'm just like, man, yeah, that's it. By the way, the weather here in Tuscaloosa, just, man, you know what? It might be time. I went out and cleaned up the garage yesterday, and I was looking good. But I'm not gonna lie. I moved my golf clubs, and I took out my gap wedge, I set it up, and just started kind of testing it out a little bit. So I'm excited because anytime that the weather warms up and you get to get out on the links, woof, man, here we go. All right. So I love this commercial too. And then, so this movie is right up my alley. Okay. Like if we ever hang out, This is the type of stuff I want to watch. And I'm not like a huge sci-fi guy. Like, I've seen the Star Wars. I've seen, I'm not like a Star Trek guy, but I'm no hating. But like these type of movies, like end of the world type stuff, right? It's one of my favorite movies is like Contact, right? So this movie, it kind of seems like it's around like that same genre. And it's Disclosure Day. Have you seen this? And it's Steven Spielberg. It like kind of like afterlife, aliens, like everything that, sounds like really interesting, kind of like intertwined. Like I like Armageddon. I'm excited. Is anyone else? No way, dude. Contact was not trash, bro. No way. Contact, Jodie Foster. You're not old enough, Daytona, to watch that. Sphere. No, I haven't seen that. What's Sphere about? What was the other one where that spaceship, it just landed? It looked like a it looked like a huge, it just landed in one particular spot. And they had to go like look at it. It looked like a cashew kind of. Hacker Music says, yeah, see, look, Red Dawn, of course. They filmed Red Dawn in Las Vegas, New Mexico, the original, right? Yo, Red Dawn was an amazing movie, 100%. Right? They're just posted up at the high school, and then people just start paratrooping in. Yeah, The Day the Earth Stood Still. What's another one? Man, there's a lot of them. War of the Worlds. Oh my goodness, one of my favorites for sure. Man, you know what? Cloverfield. Oh my God, Cloverfield is a great show. I remember seeing Cloverfield in the theater. I loved it because from like the first person view. Man. Signs. Oh my goodness, Signs was crazy. Signs is still a good movie. M. Night Shyamalan. Remember Sixth Sense, Signs, Unbreakable, right? He had some crazy. The Village. Remember The Village? And they were all trapped in that little space. Yo, that was crazy. Signs was nuts. Signs is a good show. I love stuff like that. So, anyways, Disclosure coming out. Is anyone else like coming with me to see Disclosure, or am I going by myself? Right? Yo, Mascot, remember at the end? It was crazy because everything was tied in. And he was like, hey, just swing for the fences. And he had to fight that alien with the baseball bat or swing away. Thomas says, this is boring for someone who doesn't waste much time in front of the TV. Yeah. You don't watch movies, bro? All right. And then, which brings us to our AM shout-outs. All right. Let's see who's up in the crib this morning. All right. Cody. We got to get the messages on the screen. Okay. All right. Cody, what's up, man? See you inside the Combox. Good morning. Rocket Town, what's up, bro? Appreciate you being here. Bruce Williams, Danny the Great, I appreciate you being here. Michael Hill, what's up, bro? Thank you very much for kicking it with us. We also have what's up, bro? Thanks for being here. Robert Bradley Jr., good morning to you. Mask Up Daytona, what's up, man? Appreciate you being inside the Combox. Houston, what's up, man? Good to see you. Dino, good morning to you. Josh Miller says, let's go Seattle at the 49ers Stadium. Oh, man, that hurts. 242, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Thank you for rocking with us on Monday. Nicole Covington, what's up? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see who else. We got a good crew this morning. Yo, Patriot Life, what's up, man? How's life up in Chattanooga? Is the weather starting to turn a little bit for you? Dano, what's up, man? Good morning. Mo, Sleepful, appreciate you being here, man. Thanks for rolling through on this beautiful Monday. Appreciate you guys. Steve Taylor, what's up, man? Thank you very much for being here on Bama Football on YouTube. We got Thomas. What's up, Thomas? Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for kicking it. Miss Debbie Hanson, good morning to you as well. Chrome Gaming, I see you inside the comment box. Thank you very much for being here this morning. And, good crew. We got the Haunted Syndicate always rolling through. We got Houston. We got Owen Skinner. Thank you so much. We got Egypt 10,000. Thank you for being here as well. And Will High Note. What's up, man? Wade Crocker. Benjamin, what's up, Benjamin? Appreciate you. Lance Hunter, good morning to you. Wade's World, wow, really great crew this morning. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Benjamin says, I'm from Seattle. He would just throw it and not run it enough. Yo, Benjamin, is that kind of like the kind of like the word at the water cooler? Like, is that Ryan Grubb just like threw too much and didn't run the ball? Is that like what people say in Seattle? Because like over here, that's like one of the biggest things we're talking about. It's like, is he just like a one-dimensional type guy, right? Are things going to change? But the only fighting grace that people go back to is the fact that Ryan Grubb, had a 1,200-yard rusher in 2023. But they still ranked 109 or 106 in the nation running the ball. Anyways, we're going to talk about Grubb in just a second. All right, we have 4 guys who got rings, right? So we got Jalen Milroe, Jaron Reed, you got Josh Jobe, and you got Robbie Oots. So I was clearly, doing the watch along, and I'm typing and I got a lot going on. So I meant to look at this before I came on. It just slipped my mind. But what did Josh Jobe do? Did Josh Jobe punch somebody? He did something, because I quickly looked down and I saw kind of the replay of guys like going at it. But what did Josh Jobe do? I missed it. Milroe, okay, didn't play during the season, but I don't even know if he played 5 snaps during the actual season. He played during the preseason, though. And I remember he played an entire game. They let him play the entire game. I think it was against Green Bay, right? So let's see. Sphere, Hoffman, LJ, contact trash. With the super. Thanks for the super, bro. I appreciate you, man. I don't know. I liked contact, man. That's up there for me. But I'll check out Sphere. I don't think I've seen that. Thanks for the super, bro. And then you have Jaron Reed, right? Won a title, almost 10 years ago, wins another title, Super Bowl, and then our boy Robbie Oots. So what did Jobe do? Because I saw some good defensive plays. So Owen says, I think he hit someone out of bounds. Yeah, I didn't see that. Hey, you know what, man? Look, I thought there was some really good secondary play last night. I think Darnold missed on a couple. Drake May threw up some passes that he clearly shouldn't have. But also when there was, some good targets, some of those DBs last night, Josh Jobe included, man, made some incredible plays. Yo, the Patriots secondary was great, right? So Josh Jobe earns a ring. And I always talk about Josh Jobe. I mean, besides like whatever he did last night, I think he's a guy sometimes that gets a little bit overshadowed when you talk about secondary players to come out of Alabama within the last 5 to 7 years. I mean, you have so many of them that we do discuss and that we do highlight. Like, just to name a couple, you got Minka, Passer 10, you have Terrion Arnold, right? You have, man, you could go on and on. Kool-Aid. I mean, you name your DB. But a lot of people, they don't name Josh Jobe. Josh Jobe this year played in over 900 snaps. 900 snaps. That's the most out of any of these guys on the screen right here. So, man, Josh Jobe's legit, 100%, man. And that Seattle pass rush and the front was intense. Robbie Oots played a little bit this year. But Seattle does have a really good tight end, A.J. Barner. I'd recommend picking him up for your fantasy league. He's probably going to get you he's on the come up for sure. Man, if you could get I don't know if he'll be on the board, but if you could be sneaky and get Brock Bowers somewhere in the first, 2 picks or first rounds, and then kind of watch your league and see if anybody has taken AJ, because you just might end up with 2 of the top tight ends in the league. I'm serious. That kid can play. And they utilize him. I mean, I think he had 16, 17 points last night in fantasy football, which is a lot for a tight end. Okay, so now we kind of get to the meat of it, right? And I have a poll question, and the poll's question is clearly, against Grubb. Did Seattle win a Super Bowl because they fired Grubb, right? I mean, 69% say yes. 31% say no. I'm probably going to say I'm going to vote yes, but I want to look at both sides, and I want to hear from you inside the comment box. And then when you guys call on the show, just tell me what you think. So I think where you look at, and if you're from Seattle or if you're from Washington, get inside the comment box and let us know how you feel as well. I know we got CJ, and I think we have a couple other people in Washington that watch the show. So I think like with Grubb, he's probably got the most pressure out of anybody coming into this season. Would you say so? And that's because he was one of the most highly anticipated coaches coming into the program. And this stems from 2023 when Coach Saban was looking for a new offensive coordinator. And the first guy, or one of the guys that he brought in who actually came to Tuscaloosa was Ryan Grubb. And that's kind of when the anticipation and the excitement for Grubb started. That was back in 2023. So we got excited then. We heard about him. He was a guy that was on Saban's radar, right? And we knew that what Washington was starting to cook up, it didn't work out. But then the next year, you know what happened. The changing of the guards. And you got Coach Kalen DeBoer. And one of the brightest notes about Coach Kalen DeBoer, along with what he had accomplished himself, there was two things. Number one was what he had done, taking Washington to a title game. And everywhere he went, he won. He was bringing over Courtney Morgan as a GM. We never really had a GM, so we were excited. But the thing that we were really excited about was the offensive mind of Ryan Grubb. And that was supposed to all come together kind of in 2024. It didn't happen. And he came over here. He said, I am your offensive coordinator with the Alabama football hat on. And then he decided to stay because he was offered the offensive coordinator position in Seattle. From his perspective, I get it, right? I mean, chance to coach in the NFL, be an offensive coordinator. He'd never done that. He did that. He stayed there for 1 year, and he was fired, right? Over here, we had Nick Sheridan as the OC, and then moved Nick Sheridan to quarterbacks coach, and we brought in Ryan Grubb. And we felt at that point in time that, okay, this is the guy. When connected with DeBoer, we're going to have similar success to what Washington had. Are our expectations always really high? Of course, right? Any guy that comes in is expected to be like the guy. But I will say this, the expectations for Ryan Grubb were really high because of the past damage that we felt the offensive coordinators prior to him had done on the program and to the quarterback room. We didn't feel like Sheridan was that good. We didn't feel that Bill O'Brien was that good. We didn't feel that Tommy Reese was that good. We just didn't. We felt like we were okay on the defensive side, but Grubb was going to be the guy that came back and reinvigorated the offense. And we felt that like his scheming was going to really take us to another level. And then what happened during the season, it wasn't that at all. It wasn't. It was, I think, we had the first drive of the season, which was exciting. They drove down against Florida State and put one in the end zone. And it looked like a thing of beauty. And then from there on out, we had kind of a string of games after that loss where the offense did look like it had some continuity, did look like it wanted to run the ball. There was some injuries. But then things started to get really inconsistent with the running game. And then it was the stacking on of gadgetries like we've never seen before. I'm telling you, calling 5 to 8 gadget plays per game. Now, the one against Georgia was kind of the first one where we were like all on board, and I was throwing a pass out to Caden Proctor. That was cool. In a game like that, over there, you move down the field, but then it became like more gadget plays. Something isn't working, gadget play. And it felt like we continued to drift a little bit away from the run. And that's kind of how the season went under Grubb. And ultimately, they continued to fall further and further down in the running rankings, right? So much so that Alabama ended 125 in the nation running the ball, which was worse than the year before, right? They didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher, and I get it. You know, Jam Miller was banged up. And at the end, we kind of looked at everything and we saw that you had -3 yards against Georgia. Like those type of numbers, and I get it. You get your quarterback sacked, it equates against the run, but still, those numbers stick with us. You weren't able to run the ball against Indiana. The running game was never the reason Alabama was in a game or why they won a game. It just wasn't, right? So it at the end of the day, it was underwhelming. It really was. And I think that's what made a lot of Alabama fans upset. But simultaneously, while Alabama was struggling and the NFL season was carrying on, what you had was the Seattle Seahawks putting together this ridiculous season by running the ball with 2 running backs, right? And then what we were also seeing was we were seeing Indiana chop up people and we were seeing Miami chop up people using that same recipe. And that same recipe was running the ball and getting after the quarterback, something that we didn't have here in Tuscaloosa. So that's what made things so hot for Ryan Grubb. And so, like, once the dust has settled, and here we are at this point in time, I think we've learned during the month of January that Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb got together and they said, look, we have to have physicality that is going to be paramount for our program going forward. I think they got adjusted to the SEC and they learned, the SEC is way more physical than we probably even anticipated. And we got to be able to have a ground and pound, right, to be able to move the football, which is going to open up the passing game with our inexperienced quarterbacks that are just about ready to take over. So what they decided was to fire Kapilovic, and they probably looked at the offensive line. They felt the offensive line wasn't imposing enough. And what was crazy, fam, is not too long ago, maybe like a week ago, I sat down and I watch a lot of football highlights, how good were they, whatever. And I went into a rabbit hole and I started watching 2020 Alabama. Don't do it. Because you'll just be shocked at how good the offensive line was, how many explosive plays that Alabama had, how good Mac Jones was at throwing the deep ball. Like, it was every single thing that you wanted within an offense. 2020's team did it to perfection. And then when you look to Alabama's offense, I was like, man, Ty was good in the intermediate, but he wasn't good downfield. We could, at times when we ran the ball, there was no explosive plays, none. I think of 2 plays. So I guess that's not none, but 2 plays, right? But even from the passing perspective, there wasn't a lot of times where we challenged people vertically, right? So that's why this man right now has the most pressure out of anybody entering this year. It's year 2, and I think fans are giving him kind of a grace period. Some fans are, because we saw Kane Womack, his counterpart, coaching the defense, do a lot of better things in year 2. So, and that's really the only thing that we can do is we can only hope that we have a quarterback that steps in and can command the offense. And we have this running back by committee behind a new offensive line with a new offensive line coach that we can move forward with Alabama's offense and we can take a step forward because this past year, it was the Alabama defense that was the cornerstone, that was the backbone of this team. And they bent, but they didn't break often. And they kept Alabama in a lot of games and they made a lot of big plays when they had to. But there was few times this past year that the offense could match the defense. They just couldn't. There were 2 different levels. There were 2 different teams, and the special teams was inconsistent. That's how you lose 4 games in the season. Maybe they should have lost more. I don't know. So what we're looking for from Grubb in this pivotal year is continued quarterback development. Right. This will be year 4 working with Austin Mack. Right. You have a very highly touted 5-star and Keelan Russell, who everybody feels should be ready to start, right? You have a plethora of running backs with a variety of, abilities. You have more than enough tight ends. You have balanced. You have inline, whatever you need. You have an offensive line that you went out and you signed off on all these guys that you feel can be the guys that are added here to make things go. So then it comes back to Ryan Grubb and his systematic philosophy of operating schematics. And what does that look like? And how, pass heavy is this team? Is this team really going to commit to running the run? And what does that mean? Right? I don't know if there's a percentage where you want to run and pass. Yeah, and Daytona's like, we got no wide receivers. Man, we got 10 of them. 2 of them played here last year. One of them had 15 drops or whatever it was. Another guy got 1 target against Indiana. So they're going to have to grow up. So that's what we're working with on the offense. The good news is for Grubb and for Alabama's offense, okay, is that the first 5 games provide a perfect opportunity for Alabama to find rhythm. The springtime provides opportunity for these guys to find identity. The first 5 games of the season provides them an opportunity to kind of find their place and catch up to that defense. It's not going to take the defense long at all. The defense is going to step on the field and be dominating. The offensive line has to find its feet. Period. All right? And they're going to be able to do that with games against Eastern Carolina, Kentucky, right? Florida State, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. Those are games, and some of those games should be just challenging enough to get them ready to roll. So, optimistic season for Ryan Grubb ahead. I sure as hell hope so. But I think the pressure is on. And if you want to look at from a pressure standpoint, I think Ryan Grubb has the most pressure out of anybody. I think Adrian Clem has the second most pressure, and he's a new offensive line coach because he has to turn up that entire group. And then after that, I think there's always going to be pressure on the defensive coordinator, right? I mean, there just is. Anything that happens to the Alabama defense, but he has a little bit of grace because of the year he had last year. And then, of course, Kalen DeBoer is always going to have pressure just because he's the head man. But this is, I view, the most critical year of this early foundation, and that's year 3, right? When you've lost a total of 8 games, but you've won 20. You've won a playoff game, or you lost a playoff game, right? There's a lot on the line for this team, but I think looking early on at the components that we have, you should feel optimistic. It's just you should also have questions, and you should also be realistic. Is this a national title type team from the jump? No. They're going to have to work for that. They're going to have to stay in the lab and improve and work towards that. And that goes for everybody. I mean, it's like it right now in college football, it's just as challenging to win the Super Bowl. The teams are that good. I mean, think about this. Seattle was a 60-1 shot. 60-1 to win the Super Bowl, right? And they did it. So we'll see what happens. All right, so we got a new raffle this week, and it's I love this hat. So it's the rope hat. This is one of my favorite hats. Bama Football YouTube. It's just white. It's a snap fit on the back. $5 to enter, all right? And I'll show you guys. It's Venmo underscore. Let's see what it is. I'm going to put it inside the comment box for you guys right now. I need to add it to the graphic, and I'll put it inside the comment box. So for Venmo, it's $5, and it is Bama underscore YouTube. And then for Cash App, it is, I'll put that inside the comment box right now too. For Cash App, it is, let's see. It is Bama YouTube. So Cash App is Bama YouTube. Bama YouTube Cash App. And it's $5, all right? So this is what the hat looks like. I think you could get it in black. I have to check on that. But this is like the exact hat that I'm giving away this time, okay? So Venmo, Bama underscore YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. It's $5 to get in, up to 3 opportunities, all right? So we'll spin the pinwheel on Friday, 10:45. You guys like the hat? It looks tight, right? It's a nice little rope hat. Nice for the course. So, yeah, that is the raffle. As you know, video is powered by Sleeper. So download the app, $20 upon just downloading the app, okay? And use a promo code, which is Tailgate. And I really appreciate you guys supporting the sponsor that supports us right here on Bama Football on YouTube, all right? Okay, I'm gonna open up the call line next, and we'll take your calls right here on Bama Football on YouTube. It's kind of your show, but I'd like to kind of take it, the Grubb or the Super Bowl commercial route. So I'll be right back here on Bama Football on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. All right, family. I appreciate you guys being patient. Thank you so much for joining us today. And without further ado, you know who's first. The man, the myth, the legend. Loves it, eats it, wants it more than anybody else. Cody from Crestfield. What's up, bro? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Cal, how have you been?
I'm doing great, man. Good to hear from you, bro. Welcome on in.
Yeah, you too. I've been busy. Listen, I love the Super Bowl commercials. By the way, man, those were funny commercials, man. They're great. Because usually the past Super Bowls they sucked, but you know what? I figured out this. It looks like Donald Trump made Seattle win because the past they had a drunk Cardi B and a bad Bunny. Ain't that don't work out very well for that group, man. I feel bad for the Pats for that. But Grubb, to solve that, Grubb really, to be honest, when Seattle fired Grubb was the weakest link. That's what made them win the title was because they fired Grubb, and it was easily to be seen. For Grubb this year, every coaching staff has to improve and be more physical. Mostly Grubb and the O-line's coach and everything, but mostly Grubb because the reason why was he brought all this rat poison into Bama in the first place because everybody ran and raved that he was such an offensive coordinator-minded coach that he can actually be highly prolific at OC. I never thought of that because the only reason why was when other people says it's not like 1,000,000% accurate. It's a bunch of full of shit. So for all that stuff. So I still think Grubb's got more to prove. He needs to get his balls out of his wife's purse and get more physical. Him and the boy, because they both know they're each other's wives. So get your balls out of your wife's purse and get more physical, guys. This is the SEC. Let's get more physical. This is what I like all the time. I like physicality. I don't like no Paris Hilton poodles in each other's purse. Get your balls out of your wife's purse and let's go to work, y'all. Thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, thanks, Cody. I appreciate you leading off the show, bro. I think Amanda, I like the Universal commercial. Yeah, I said that last night on the show. I took the kids out there. It's like if you have kids and you like taking them out there, you love that, right? Like that made sense to you. I think kind of getting up to Cody. It's like that's how Alabama fans. Some of them. I think maybe a majority. I mean, you could look at kind of the poll results. People want an offense that is productive. People want an offense that is physically imposing. I think that's probably the biggest thing, right? Is like a physically imposing offense. And I think that's what Alabama fan like, because when I always looked at Alabama, even before I got here, 10 years ago, which is crazy, I never questioned Alabama's physicality. Never. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never looked at Alabama and never, ever envisioned anything associated with Alabama, not even with the state, as being soft. Never. Like, that was the only thing that I saw, and this is from like an outsider before I moved here. And maybe you disagree with me, I don't know. But the way that I viewed Alabama and like the people of Alabama, I didn't view this state as like soft. I didn't view Nick Saban and the program, and I'm not comparing, I'm saying, as I viewed it living in New Mexico, I was like, man, like that program is like elite because it's physically demanding, and it's relentless effort every single day. It's backbreaking to be that good. It must be, right? And that's always how I thought of it. And I wonder, when people like look, are they like, is that still how people see Alabama, the football program? Do they still see it as a program that is like kind of the standard of like the physical, dominant type team? It always goes back to me, and when I think about this, it always comes, what is crazy? It always comes back to crazy Tony Brown, right? I never seen a man walk in his underwear, and he's just tights, through an opposing team's locker room. And that dude was like, chiseled like a Greek god. But the guy was like, that was the attitude. Like, he had put that body together by sweat, hard work, effort, and he was just like an alpha, just walking through the opposing line, stretching. That was like that mentality. And you know what? Nobody tried to control him. They just like, yo, dude, like that's what like alphas do. They just roam. So, man, that's kind of how I always thought about it. And I don't know if they're still being thought about it that way. I don't know. All right. So we take after Cody, we got Lucas calling in as well. Lucas, welcome to the show, brother. Take it away, man.
What's up? This is me, Lucas.
What's up? This is me, Lucas. Take it, bro.
I'm from Georgia. I'm sorry. I should say I'm from Georgia.
Welcome to the show, bro.
But I guess I was wrong about Grubb. Y'all are right. I do blame Grubb. I blame Grubb for the running game at Seattle. And I think the only guy I wish Alabama should have fired was Grubb, Pilovic, Gillespie, and David Ballou, the strength conditioning. I mean, I'm tired of the Bama offense playing like doo-doo cheeks. It's time to get back to playing offense. Ground and pound. Because when you ground and pound, it sets the tone with your receivers. So I do blame Grubb. It's time to get him gone. Time to get Gillespie gone. Time to get David Ballou gone. I am tired of this. It's time to start getting back to winning championship. But no, we can't. I don't know what's going on with this stupid team. And I do not like this. And I feel like we are all talk, and with all talk, we need to put it on the field. And I don't think we're going to do that. I'm tired of Grubb. He needs to go. After I saw Seattle did what they did, that just proves me right there. It was Grubb. So, I'm sorry. I understand I have Grubb's back all this time, but now I don't know more. I don't.
Yeah. I get it.
So he needs to pack his bags and go. And take Gillespie with you. And David Ballou.
All right. Thanks, Lucas, for calling in, brother. I appreciate you, man.
All right.
All right. Next up, we got another call coming in from Crestview, Florida. This is Jody. Jody from Crestview. No, I'm just kidding. It's Mike from Choctaw. Mike, what's up, brother?
Good morning, Kyle. How are you doing today?
What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to today's show.
I'm doing good. Thank you, man. I enjoyed the watch along last night, dude. I didn't chime in or chat in or anything, but I sure listened to all of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it or not, because I know you didn't have a whole lot of viewers on there in real time, but just so you know, man, I do enjoy your watch alongs, dude. I do enjoy it.
Oh man, yeah. It's hilarious sometimes to look on the live shows, and like for basketball the other night we had 22, and then we had what, like 20. Look, it's, that's just what it is. I mean, I choose to be in this space. I mean, this is what it is. So yeah, last night was fun. We celebrated the Super Bowl, and yeah, I felt, I didn't expect this, but I got a lot of results from watching the Super Bowl. I mean, it was like clear as day, like the method to be able to win championships. It was right there in front of us. But any takeaways? You have like a favorite commercial you watched?
No, I didn't watch it on the TV, man. I kind of listened to you the whole time, really, because I didn't have the TV on at all.
Yeah.
But I know they were good commercials. Really, that's half the Super Bowls, the game, of course, but also the parties, the chicken wings, hot sauce for me, by the way.
Oh.
And then, like I say, I know the commercials are pretty funny sometimes too, but I never turned my TV on, Kyle. I listened to you the whole time.
Man, that's like the fireside chat, man. You just turn on the radio, fireside chat, and fireside chat with Kyle. I like it.
Yeah, sounds good, because you talk about a little bit of everything. You talk about football, but there's a lot of, some empty space, of course. So you don't talk about cooking, talk about your personal, faith or whatever. So it's, yeah. I do enjoy. But hey, man, you did ask a question earlier that I have an answer for you. I think anyway. Seattle fired Ryan Grubb for a reason. Now, I don't want to fire Ryan Grubb. I want to keep Ryan Grubb because, our running game was horrible. It was horrible. But we got a new offensive line coach, and we have a couple of young players that I think are going to be pretty good. But if you remember back, before our defense carried the season, our offense was carrying the season a little bit. I don't know what happened. Maybe Jam Miller got hurt. I think that's what happened too. But and he stayed kind of hurt most of the year.
Yeah.
But I want to keep what we got now. But what coach is under the most pressure, Kyle, is of course the head coach, Kevin DeBoer, because no matter what, it always comes back to him. I mean, that's why. You got to be if you're the CEO of a company, I mean, if you do whatever it is, it always comes back to the leader of the organization. So no matter what it is, no matter what an employee does for the most part. So it's, I do want to keep Ryan Grubb because I do remember our offense last year with Ty Simpson. He did throw for 3,500 yards. You know what I mean? It wasn't terrible. It was just room for a lot of improvement. But at times, I thought the offense was carrying the season a couple of times. So, but third year, I could be wrong, but this is Deadly Kid was third year. Now, this is the make or break for him because after three, this is his team now. These are going to be his quarterbacks on the roster. These are his running backs he's got on the roster. This is his Craigslist O-line we got. So we got to, if this is his team now, so this is going to make or break. But like you mentioned, Kyle, I was listening to one of your shows, I think a couple of days ago. I think you said it's possible for Bama to open up like 7-0 or 6-1. You even thought they might beat Georgia because the game's here in Tuscaloosa. So,
yeah.
I mean, so it sounds like you have some pretty good faith on the future of the team and such like that. But I just want to keep everything intact. We just signed a real good recruiting class. The incoming transport portal, we'll see after the next season. We'll see after the season how good it was or not. But but I think the future's still bright, man. I think the future's still bright, but like I say, man, it's just keep from this point. Let's not fire any more coaches. Let's see what we got for season 3. Because, like you mentioned, looking at our schedule, I think we can make the playoffs again. I mean, that ought to, and just like beginning of last year, of last year, you and I both said, what's the goal? To make the playoffs. See, DeBoer's second year, the goal was to make the playoffs, and we did that, So we hit our goal. So it's just going to be a new year, man. Just going to be a new year. So just don't fire Ryan Grubb right now. Give him one more. If Seattle did fire him, and it might have been, I mean, they did it for a reason, apparently. The running game, I'm pretty sure. But we'll see how it goes, man. But it's all on the coach, Kalen DeBoer, dude. Another thing, Kyle, I'll let you go in a second, Kyle, but I've heard a couple of people say, I don't know if you said this or not, but no, I think you corrected the person. They were saying, is Nick Saban going to fire Kalen DeBoer? Well, Nick Saban is not Kalen DeBoer's boss. He's not firing nobody. He might still have an office where he hangs out, puts his his pictures in there. But I don't think Nick Saban has a whole lot of actual direct influence and more. Now, indirect, yeah, absolutely. He's Coach Saban, absolutely. I mean, he built this what we got now. So, but like I said, I don't think, but Nick Saban's not going to fire Kellen DeBoer. Well, I think a caller said that. The reason why, because Kellen DeBoer does not work for Nick Saban. He works for Alabama. He works for the athletic director, such like that. But I do enjoy the watch along. But the other thing about the college football season, Kyle, like I mentioned to you, when we get to the end of the year, when we make the tournament, when we get a little deeper in the tournament, if we're capable of that, you sound like you have some faith in our basketball team. So then your views will get more on basketball, because people I know myself, I'll pay attention to the games, but I really don't watch or anything like that. But towards the end of the year, then I bet myself that most Bama fans it's a long, because football fans were diehard loyal.
It's a long-term
basketball.
Play. Yeah, it's a long-term play for sure.
Yeah. Sure is, brother.
All right,
sure
man.
is, man.
Sounds good, bro. I
sure
appreciate
is.
it, man. Thanks for the call from Choctaw, man. Take it easy, bro.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, take it easy, man. All right, 253. Hey, what's up? You on the line? Yeah, who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Man, this CJ all day.
CJ, what's up, dog? I appreciate you calling in, man. Super Bowl champs out in Seattle, man. What's your take, man? Bring it away.
Man, come on, man. Don't even start the show with me like that, man.
Well, I had to answer it to it, too. Dude,
yo, here, man.
100%. So let me set it up because they don't know. CJ is a 49er fan that lives in you're in Seattle, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So can you imagine what he has to deal with? That's the equivalent to like Patriot life, living in Chattanooga, having to deal with all the Vols fans. So anyways, CJ, welcome to the show, man. Come with it, bro. Thanks for calling in.
Let me help you out with that. It's like you're a Bama fan. I mean, you're in the heart of Arbor.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And to have their logo stenciled on my freaking field in Levi was just painful.
And the thing was, CJ, is they had the Seattle Seahawks had the Niners locker room. They have a Sharpie and they wrote something in there.
Oh my God, Kyle. Okay, let's change subjects, man. I'm having a freaking panic attack right now. But let me tell you something, Kyle. Kalen DeBoer, we already kind of figured about, okay, we're going to give him another shot, and, we think he has a plan, which I think he do. That haven't deviated. But I'm going to tell you, stick with me, Kyle.
Yeah.
He's gonna fall on the sword with his partner, Ryan Grubb. Now, I disagree with everything that caller just came in and said. I want Grubb gone. If it quack like a duck, move like a duck, shucky duck, it's a duck.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, this dude just got fired from Seattle, and then they win the Super Bowl with Walker running. You made an excellent point, Kyle. They show fronted why they got rid of Grubb. Now look at the run production prior to them going to the Huskies, and you can see the production falling off with the run.
Yeah.
Now go to Bama, right? Under Nick Sheridan. Stick with me. Under Nick Sheridan. Jam Miller ran way better, especially coming off the wheel routes. If you remember, if you recall, the moment Grubb got there, Jam and everybody else took a step back on the running game. It's like you got to call a spade a spade. And then I think the main problem is he doesn't have player personality. He don't know how to relate to the players. He tried to come down to the sideline. You remember that?
Yeah.
When he got out and he left the booth?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
When they was in trouble, you didn't see him going over there consoling and talking to the players, did you? No, you didn't. You know who was? Jamarcus Shepard, Nick Sheridan. They was over there talking to those players, not him. And then he took his butt right back to that booth. That's why you don't see him on the recruiting trail. I think he's like a nerdy guy. He don't have a personality to relate to those kids. And as an OC, you have to touch down and dial in with your players. You have to. That's how they buy into what you're doing too. You have to build a personal relationship with those guys. You know what I mean? It's like he has a buffer in between. His assistant coaches is his buffer. You know, he's like the guy on the Wizard of Oz. He's behind the curtains, you know, making all this noise, you know, but you don't ever see this guy. So that's going to all bring itself out to the forefront, and I'm telling you, they're on the hot seat this year. You know, you didn't use your lifeline. You threw somebody to the wolves. You made a sacrifice with the OC coach. You redid the whole offensive line. So all that has been in play. You got a top 5 recruiting class coming in. You have no room to wiggle. This is the year. So that's what I'm saying. If it's not this year, if they have a failing season to this Alabama standard, Kalen DeBoer is going to allow his friends to get him fired. And that's my take on it. And wouldn't it be nice to have, you know what, and I will say this. If that happens, if Kalen DeBoer gets fired, I think the AD gets fired too.
Burn?
For hiring him. Yeah. And I can see Nick Saban as the athletic director.
Whoa. Man. Yeah, imagine that. Man. I ain't heard that.
Think about it.
Yeah.
They already got him a spot. He's already employed, quote unquote.
Man.
I think the next spot for him will be the AD. He would love that role.
Interesting. Yeah.
He would love that. He would excel in that role.
Yeah. Yeah, he would.
So, yeah, you got to. That's my take, Kyle. What you think, man?
Yeah, I'll answer on the other line, CJ. I appreciate you calling in, brother. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, man. Stay safe out there with all those Seahawk fans. Put your binoculars on, your blinders. All right, man. Take it easy, man.
All right, man.
Man, yo, CJ, that was a lot. That was good stuff. I appreciate you, CJ. Nick Saban being the AD blew my mind. Okay, what's more likely? Okay, more likely. Coach Saban becoming the AD at Bama or Coach Saban becoming the commissioner of the National College Football League? What you think? I don't know. Or, I mean, can you imagine rolling up? All right, and we'd like to announce who's at the game tonight for Alabama versus Auburn basketball. And we have Nick Saban, you know. He's the athletic director, and he's also owner of the Nashville Predators and also owns 3 Ferrari dealerships. Please welcome the greatest college football coach in history, Nick Saban. I don't know. I mean, it kind of, what do you think? I don't know. That game's already got a headache. Smoke says AD. Huh. All right. Let's take this call. But I think it's a 901. Jarvis, is this you?
This Jarvis.
Jarvis, what's up, dog?
Jarvis. Houston.
Jarvis.
What's going on, Kyle?
What's up, brother? Hey, I have a question for you.
Talk to me.
So, can you see the comments on the screen? Like,
I can't see the comments.
So when you're talking to me, you can't see like the comments. like the comment box?
No, I'm not able to see it.
Oh man,
Not on my end. I can't.
I was wondering, man, if you could do me a solid. But okay, so we got. All right, so okay, so we got Jarvis calling in from 901. Okay, and I just got a text message from my son, so I need to go put his clothes in the laundry. So I'm gonna be back in literally a minute. So Jarvis, okay, you start off, and I'll come right back. So what was your main topic? What were you gonna come with?
My main topic is just basically talking about what we're gonna do moving forward as far as with Grubb. I know everybody been discussing that as far as the topic this morning. So I'm gonna start off with that.
Okay, so you got 2 minutes, man. This is your show. I'll be right back. Okay, Jarvis has the show. I'll be right back in 2 minutes. I got to go downstairs and do the laundry. Jarvis, take it away. I'll come right back. Take it.
All right.
You got 2 minutes.
All right. So we're gonna start out with Grubb. Okay. It's a Jarvis show right now. So with Grubb being our offensive coordinator, hopefully he has taken a step back as far as reviewing as far as what he did for the past season. All right, not only with Alabama but also the Seahawks, and I hope that he will take initiative to apply more of the running game. Now we did have an offensive guy that came in as far as the new offensive lineman coach, and hopefully he will implement the running game. But that's one of his takes, and that's one of his preferences as far as when it comes to the offensive line. So he mostly pushed the running game. So that being said, they give me some hope that we will push forward to having a more attack on the ground game. I feel we do have the running backs. I necessarily didn't agree with us bringing in another running back, but we have to do what's best for the team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just allowing these coaches to go ahead and do what they need to do. So if you just really, if all the Alabama fans just take a step back and look at it, the overall picture as far as Alabama football, those guys are making moves to get to where we need to get to.
Yeah.
This Kalen DeBoer, he's not, like I stated in other in other videos, that him being a football coach is not stopping. Okay, he didn't learn how to become a football coach over time. So I feel like the whole staff is continuing to learn. So I think they'll continue to learn what works for them, what works for as far as adapting to this SEC schedule, competition. So they still learning. They're in the learning process. The coaches, the staff. So that's how I'm looking at it. I think this upcoming season, I think we're going to see some improvement.
And see, Jarvis, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for covering me, man. I think the thing about it is, we're like, in this life and in college football, there's no time, right? There's like we want things like right now. It's got to be a national championship right now, and I guess it doesn't help when you have a second-year coach like at Indiana, Cignetti, winning something like right now. And I think everybody sees that and is like, that's the vision that is achievable. When I think here,
Cal, you just touched on a point. I'm gonna make this point. I'm gonna make this real fast. Okay, so we seeing that Indiana coach went out and won a national championship. All right, guys, let's take a step back. You know how long this guy been coaching? The guy stated that he made a lot of mistakes in his younger years as far as a head coach. Okay? That's what I want my Alabama fans to understand. Second, he went out. Don't get me wrong. It does take a staff to develop talent. Don't get me wrong. But he went out and got guys that have already adapted to the college life as far as workouts, dieting, and understood when it comes to being able to put out a good product on the field. Those guys understood that. So you got 3, 4, 5-year seniors. Some of them 6 seniors. 6-year seniors, right? So these guys are older guys, but not only older guys, they understand hard work, okay? So it's nothing like It's nothing like Indiana does something spectacular. I'm tired of people. I give them their credit. Don't get me wrong, but it's like a semi-pro team. I'm not giving them a whole lot of credit. Like, oh, he just done something. I can see if Snetti went out and did this with a sophomore team or a junior team. I can see now that's impressive. Okay, but when you got guys that are the average guys on that team was 23 years old and up, come on, guys, come on now. I get it. I understand y'all want to go get Snetti. Hey, why shouldn't we hire him? Listen, how are you going to be able to sustain getting guys out of the portal every year? And you have to have that culture, because every year a different team you're going to have, okay? And you have to get these guys to gel every year. Is the portal sustainable? Getting a new team every year. We about to find out, okay? So, yes, he won. I give him all the credit. But, guys, stop harnessing on Indiana. Went out 2 years. He won it. Great job for them. I give him all the credit. But I don't see anything that was spectacular. I just seen a semi-pro team that went out. He got some older guys, and he had a staff that was able to get these guys to the next level. That's all I saw. Wasn't nothing spectacular.
Thanks for covering, Jarvis. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for all your support, bro. We'll catch up with you next time, man.
All right, thanks, Cal.
All right, take it easy. Yo, Jarvis did a good job. Man, flew the plane for a little bit. Okay, looks like we got Mattress Matt. All right, from 251. Mattress Matt, what's up, man? Welcome to the program.
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
Yeah, good to see you, man. Come with it, man. Welcome to the program.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Same old, man. It's Monday. Monday.
I was going to chime in a little bit on Grubb.
Yeah, do it.
I think Grubb, I definitely think we're going to have a improved offensive line.
Okay.
We don't know that for sure, but, we know that if the weatherman says there's a 90% chance of rain tomorrow, it's probably going to rain, but there's a possibility it might not. But I think there's a 90% chance we'll have a improved offensive line. And then, so that's going to open up the run game. And I think Kevin Riley's going to be our main guy. I was looking at some tape yesterday at work, just the Kevin Riley highlights.
Yeah.
And I was kind of comparing it to Hollywood Smothers and Relief Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just as good. He didn't have anything to work with, and Grubb didn't. I don't care how good of an offensive coordinator you are. If you have no offensive line, it's going to be almost impossible. That's why he was just, coming up with all those trick plays and stuff like that, is because he was trying to pull the hat out of the bag, just trying to come up with something because he didn't have anything to work with. And so I think he's going to have a lot more to work with. And I think the offensive line guys that he brought in, they may not be better per se, but they're faster and more athletic. I think it's going to work for the scheme that they want a little bit better. So, and so everybody's sleeping on Alabama, and but I think we're going to have a much improved team this year. So I'm thinking positive,
Yeah.
I think it'll be
I think Mattress, I think you bring up an interesting point, because when I was thinking about like the running backs that we already have here, right? Like it didn't really make sense to me like why you were bringing on like a guy like Smothers or somebody else, because I do feel that if you do watch the tape and you see what the running backs have that we already have, like I think A.K. Deere and Kevin Riley can be those type of running backs if given the opportunity with a better offensive line, right? Like they both have speed. They're both elusive type guys. A.K. Deere probably seems a little bit more interesting to me just because he's got a little bit more weight on him. But for whatever reason, we've completely discounted what Kevin Riley did at the beginning of the season. Nobody talks about that. When Jam went down, who did we turn to? We didn't turn to A.K. Deere. We didn't turn to Daniel Hill. Who was the first guy? We turned to Kevin Riley. And it was Kevin Riley for those first couple of games. He looked pretty good. He didn't get a lot of volume, and then it kind of like tapered off to where it was really none. But, yeah, I like Kevin Riley's game. Anything else, Mattress Matt?
Yeah, I do. I do criticize Grubb on, you remember the couple of plays in the SEC championship game where he gave the ball to Ryan Williams twice.
Yep.
One, I think, on like a little quick out, little screen play,
Mm-hmm.
and then another one on like a jet sweep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Ryan Williams got like 9 yards, like both times.
Yeah.
And that's what I was always wanting Grubb to do, was like just put the ball in the hands of the playmakers, which the only guy he did that with was Jeremy Bernard. He utilized Jeremy Bernard. I felt like if he would have just tossed the ball out to Ryan Williams, LaFierre Brooks, Rico Scott, and just let the athletes just make plays, I feel like he overcomplicated things. But that's all I got.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. I really like your point that you made. The
brother.
last point. I'm gonna talk about it. All right, see you, Matches.
All
All right,
bye-bye.
Matches Matt calling in from Mobile. Yeah, I love that point. I always thought too, like the reason, there's a lot of reasons to be excited about Ryan Williams, but the way that they used Ryan Williams in that game against Georgia, and I'm glad that Matches Matt saw it. I'm sure a lot of you all did too. Is how they utilized him on the short stuff, and then just let Ryan Williams do the rest. Right? It's like, that guy can do so much in space, and rarely did we do that. In fact, it makes more sense to me to do something like that with Ryan Williams, who's got more shake and dazzle than even a Jeremy Bernard. I think Jeremy Bernard is good in those situations, and he did well. But Ryan Williams is faster than Jeremy Bernard. I don't know if he's like strong or whatever, but I think he's just got that kind of playmaking ability, and maybe they utilize him more this year, or unless kind of Noah Rogers might take that place. And that might be interesting because Noah Rogers has some wiggle and kind of got the size of Jeremy Bernard. So who knows? So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I appreciate you guys joining me today on Monday's show. I really appreciate the call-ins and having the dialogue with you following the Super Bowl. And now we kind of turn the page, to the next kind of part of this, which is diving in deeper into February and, the more roster management and kind of understanding this team and where this team's going to be at as we start spring football. You get into the fourth quarter program. You also have Alabama basketball. So the news should be coming out maybe today about Bediako. I personally think he might be cooked. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he's going to be able to play? I think as soon as Greg Sankey started back in the NCAA, I think that basically told us was the preview to the story. So who knows what happens? I don't know. But I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned as news happens. Get active inside the comment box. I appreciate the super chats. Thank you so much for helping me push the channel forward. And, we'll catch up with you guys in the next video or as news happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful rest of your next couple hours or your Monday or whatever it is. And thank you so much for joining me today on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful day, and I'll catch up with you soon right here on Bama Football on